What's up? Welcome. Dr. Manhattan. I like that name. I like that character. Okay, guys. If you got any questions, please ask. No limits here. I mean, it should be focused on the occult, but you can pretty much ask me anything. I don't really give a shit, right? So just shoot. Okay, just got to answer this message here. See what comes through. Okay. All right. I will. 5 people. 5 people. Okay, that's fine. More people are going to come on. Yeah. See, man. What's up, Ashley? How's it going? And witchcraft, bro. Witchcraft. The occult. What should I say about that? Well, I think today is Monday, right? For most of you, it's still Monday. See, Monday is connected to moon energy, right? The first thing that you need to understand as an occultist is that the physical is just a manifestation of energy, right? So the different days are connected to different planets, okay? Today's connected to the energy of moon. So rituals that are connected to that energy would work very well. Okay, so that would be rituals focused on developing your psychic abilities, all right? Developing your communication with the other worlds, everything that's connected to moon energy. Okay, what is moon energy? Moon energy stands for everything psychic, the dream plane, the astral worlds, and more. Okay, so understand that every day and different hours are good for different things. Okay, you want to always use the energies that are already in play in your favor. You want to swim with the tide, so to speak. Okay, that's important. So right now, do you know what direction you're actually looking into? Do you know if you're looking towards the east, west, south, or north? If not, you have to learn that. You have to know that. Okay. See, magic can give you everything and anything. Not a problem. Everything. Because everything is just the result of energy. No matter what problem you have, there's a solution to that problem. Okay. And let me tell you something else. The problem probably only exists because you're holding it in place in some way or another through your actions, through your way of thinking, and through, an emotional block in some way or another. Okay, so the occult is really the rearrangement of the energies within you, and as a result of that, the energies around you are gonna be removed. See, Saturn is an energy that rules or is very strong here in the physical plane. And Saturn is the energy of restriction and discipline. Okay, I know people don't want to hear that, but it is the energy of restriction and discipline. So you have to respect Saturn, regardless of what you do. Now, what does that mean in your practice when you respect Saturn? You have to understand that there's the opposite to whatever else that you do, okay? So everything contains its opposite. Everything contains its opposite. You see? So if you want something, it automatically has a flip side to it. I'm not talking about, oh, I want this, and oh yeah, you're gonna be punished for breaking some divine law. No, that's not what I'm talking about. All I'm saying is that when you use witchcraft, when you use magic, when you let's say call up a demon that rules over a specific area. I don't know, let's say you do a prosperity ritual. You call up a demon that's supposed to bring you wealth or money or whatever, opportunities, whatever that might be. The demon will bring you that. But see, it's like using a slingshot. You sent out the energy, okay, and then there will be a backlash. And that backlash is set into motion through you. So you cause the backlash. What is the backlash? See, in order to create prosperity in the outside world, the internal world has to change usually as well. Okay, we can say, let's say you want to create prosperity in your life. There must be an internal change that precedes that, right? Some sort of an emotional block needs to be overcome. Some sort of a fear, some sort of a inability has to be overcome internally. Okay, so that's the inner work that is necessary for all external change. Now, if you think that you can use a demonic force to create that for you, yeah, you're going to get that on the outside. Okay, but the backlash is going to come at you all at once. Okay, boom. So you're going to hit with all of the necessary work all at once, meaning it could show itself in terms of depression. It could show itself in terms of things being ripped out of your life as a result of that. It could show up in so many different ways, you see. Now, what is the consequence of knowing this? The consequence is you have to understand that you can't cheat the universe. The internal development needs to keep the pace of the external development. You can't create things externally without having the internal ability to handle it. And if you don't have the ability to handle it, it's going to be taken away from you, or it's going to be connected to massive pain, meaning the backlash, you see. So this is not understood. It's also not talked about for the most part, often, you see. So understand that, yes, you call up a demon, he's going to, if you do the ritual correctly, you're going to get what you want, but there's a price to pay. You can't cheat the universe, okay? And the price to pay is the internal development, the internal state that is necessary to hold that external manifestation in place. Always understand that everything in your life is internal, external. Let's say you do a ritual for a certain level of prosperity. Are you psychologically and emotionally able to handle that prosperity? I tell you what happens to lottery winners, to a lot of lottery winners, okay, that get, I don't know, millions by chance. All they did was they bought a ticket. They get the money, and I'll tell you what happens to 99% of the lottery winners. They're psychologically and emotionally not able to handle that new level of net worth. What happens to them? Their credit goes through the roof. So they buy all kinds of things that are, first of all, more expensive than what they actually have. Plus, they go into debt. All right. They don't understand that they need to make savings. They now think, oh, I got $1 million, and $1 million, by the way, is nothing. Okay, that's what can you really get with $1 million these days? You can't even buy a decent house with $1 million. Okay, but to prove my point, most people when they hear $1 million, they say, "Ooh, wow, now I'm fucking rich. I can buy everything," right? And so they do. And since they got a lot of cash in their account, they all of a sudden got all this credit. They can get all these loans, right? And they end up in a worse position than they were before. Why? Because they were not emotionally ready. They can't control their impulses to spend. Yeah? Now they can get all the boats or whatever the fuck they want, right? And they will get it. So they're not mentally, psychologically, and emotionally able or at the level that their external world now is showing them, you see? So that's something similar, That's kind of like a similar mechanism, you see. You have to be able to handle the external manifestations of what you created internally. Otherwise, you're gonna deal with self-destructive tendencies. You're gonna destroy yourself. It's kind of like somebody that doesn't know how to handle weapons. You could hurt yourself. If you don't know how to handle a weapon, you might hurt yourself with it. You see? So My point is, I think you get it, right? It's just that for whatever you want to create externally, you need to be internally ready, or there's going to be a backlash. Now, you can deal with the backlash, no problem, but understand that there will be a backlash. You can't cheat the universe. That's what I'm saying here. Okay, so you can definitely use a demon to bring you prosperity, but understand that then you're going to have to be internally ready. You have to prepare yourself psychologically, emotionally, and in many other ways. And the demon's not going to warn you. Okay, the demon doesn't give a shit. It is assumed that you know what you're doing. I mean, you had the audacity to call it up, right? So you better know what you're doing. I'm practicing solidifying the etheric body. Do you have any tips? Yeah, you could do something like the Merkaba meditation, or no, sorry, not the Merkaba meditation. Even though that will have an effect on the etheric body, it's probably it's for different layers of your energy body. But the middle pillar is going to make it very strong. So look for that. You can Google that easily. Middle pillar ritual, definitely. Middle pillar. That's in addition to the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. It's usually part of the curriculum of the Golden Dawn, the Order of the Golden Dawn. Okay, but the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram is the first part, and then you do the middle pillar, where you open up different energy points that are correlated with, spheres, Sephiroth, and then you pull energy into your energy into your etheric body through these energy points, and then you can swirl that energy around you and strengthen your aura. And you could say that's astral weight training. It's a very good metaphor for that. Damn, Frank, you look nice in a turtleneck. Thank you. I like that. I actually didn't think about it, but I like that look too. I don't know if any of you guys know that movie. It's called New Jack City, and I recently remembered that Nino Brown, he's played by Wesley Snipes in that movie. He was wearing kind of like the same look. That's like the early '90s look. Early '90s. New Jack City. I don't know if anyone knows it here, but that's what these guys look like. All right, what's this? Hi, Frank. What's up, Anna? How's it going? I love Saturdays. I think you're referring to Saturn here. Yeah, Saturday is Saturn's day. That's true. Hey, Frank, what's your take on the waxing moon and building energy for a ritual? Do you regard the waxing moon, or can you build energy regardless of which phase the moon is in? I think you're right. The waxing moon is better for building up energy. So if you were to spend every night under the waxing moon preparing for the full moon ritual, meaning you build up energy, you build up a thought form that is going to be fired up during the full moon. During all this time, it's going to be very powerful. Also, yes, you can definitely build up energy regardless of which phase, moon phase you're in. Definitely. What you will notice usually, I mean, that's for 80-90% of the people, they will always have worse sleep patterns, or the quality of the sleep is always worse during a waxing moon phase. Okay, it's better during the waning moon. Excellent point. Okay, can you take on the god form of a certain angel while energizing a related intention, like a Nile for something love related, or is that redundant? No, you can definitely do that. That's it's not redundant, and it shows me that you're really understanding these teachings, which is good. You can definitely do that. I like how you kind of like combine different ideas and things. That's definitely possible. It's going to make it also stronger. Good. Yeah, definitely do that. So basically, you're saying our bodies are connected to the outer universe. Yeah, I'm saying that your body is not a closed system, neither physically nor energetically, which is kind of like the same thing, right? Yeah, you're connected to everything. Absolutely. What is the practical use of necromancy if someone can evoke non-human spirits? What traditions to study? Thank you. The practical use of necromancy. Well, what entity to work with? I don't really understand that assumption here. What is the practical use of necromancy? You can do a lot of stuff with necromancy. You can gain a lot of information. You know, I mean, I am a priest in the Palo Mayombe tradition, uh, which is necromancy. Okay, and in that tradition, the the spirit of the dead, or a spirit of the dead, your muerto, your that's a spirit that you get connected to and that stays with you permanently. That spirit becomes an intermediary between you and the different impungos, which are god forms, which are the forces that make up the universe in that tradition. Okay, so that energy, that spirit, is the intermediary, and the yeah, the interface, the communicator between, or the messenger between you and those forces. Okay, so um if you work outside of that tradition, because in that tradition you will have to practice necromancy, but if you work outside of this tradition, necromancy, I use it for the purpose of, let's say, evoking or calling up ancient masters, ancient teachers. You know, I don't know if you've seen the last podcast that I did, the Nexus of Bodhisattvas podcast, when Ieko Wedding and myself were evoking, or did evoke, in preparation, we did evoke Saint Germain, the Violet Flame. That's necromancy. That's a person that was alive. You evoke it and ask for information and learn from that person. I do that with ancient masters. You know, it's the information that you gain is usually superior to what you would gain from any of their writings. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say you study Plato or any other ancient philosopher, Lao Tzu. These people have been dead for thousands of years. Okay, and sometimes what has been written down is not really accurate. How do you know if it's accurate? How do you know if any of the teachings that have been written down thousands of years are still intact? Okay, you know, generation after generation, and a lot of oral transitioning, or yeah. So what I'm saying is, I like to go directly to the source. So I use necromancy a lot for to gain knowledge, direct access to ancient masters. Who else could, like, how else could you gain that information? Okay, so evoking Plato, evoking Lao Tzu. Also, spirits of the dead can do practical things for you in terms of influencing people and giving you you know, they're good at predicting the immediate future. When I say immediate future, I'm talking about days, stuff like that. You know, days. Also, generally speaking, qualities that you would like to mimic or to learn. You know, like, you got to be really, in my opinion, you should be very discriminatory in terms of who you call up, because you're dealing with their psychic essence, and that essence can affect you in some way or another. So you gotta be careful who you call up, right? But that's how I use necromancy. To me, it's, generally speaking, it's a tool to gain access to information that I couldn't gain in other ways. Okay, so what else could you use that for? Yeah, they can definitely influence people for you too, and events. But in order to influence events, oftentimes you will have to influence a person, right? So that's kind of like redundant, what I just said. What traditions to study? I mean, if you're interested in Palo, you would have to find some Palero. I don't know. I don't recommend it though, because usually you will be called into the tradition, and if somebody is trying to force you or trying to convince you to get into the tradition, it's for money. They're just trying to rip you off. Okay. But if you're meant to be in the tradition, there will be no, what's the word? You will more or less be pulled into it. Okay. Circumstances around you are going to align without your actions to bring you to that tradition. Okay. But if somebody is trying to get you into it and is trying to basically talk you into it and shit like that, where it's like, oh yeah, and then specifically without asking the spirits before, that person is just trying to sell you something. It's fake initiation. Fake initiations are rampant in the ATRs. When I say ATRs, it's African traditional religions, which they're actually not. I mean, that name is just they're they're African derived, but they're not really African anymore because let's say Palo was developed in Cuba by people that were of African ancestry. That's true. It's kind of like it derived from the Congo. Yeah, the same with or Santeria. Santeria developed based on a Yoruba tradition, which is from Nigeria. Yeah, it's true. They're African traditional. They're African derived. Okay. The traditions, let's say in the Congo and in Nigeria and many other areas of Africa, they're intact and they're in a lot of ways very different from something like Santeria, Voodoo. They're different traditions. So I don't think it's actually factually correct to call them ATRs because they're not African. They're connected to the diaspora of the African people, So they have African roots, but it's not that they're African. Okay. Plus, let's say Palo has influences of Native Americans, Native American and Haitiano, not Haitiano, Taino influences, so natives, Indian people and stuff like that. When I say Indian, I mean basically Native American. I don't mean Indian from Asia. Okay, so that's not really factual. It's not correct to call them ATRs, but whatever. People call it ATR because I don't know. All right. Of course, that's a classic movie. Yeah, it is. Nino Brown. Can the practice of internal martial arts such as Tai Chi and Wing Chun help with witchcraft in some way? Wing Chun, not so much. Look, and I practice both of them. I've been practicing Wing Chun since I've been I'm 19. I'm 36 now, and Tai Chi I've been practicing for many years too. Wing Chun, not really. Okay, Wing Chun still has an emphasis on being hard in some way or another. Okay. Now, of course, you develop your sensitivity to physical push and stuff like that. Yeah. So when you do chi sao and all that stuff, you train your reflexes, but it has nothing to do with a real internal style is different. Okay. And when I say internal style, I'm talking about different kung fu styles here. So Wing Chun is not an internal style. Tai Chi is, and Tai Chi can definitely help you with that. Absolutely. But Wing Chun, nah. Hey there, great info as always. Thanks. You're welcome. Dr. Manhattan, I like that name. I heard that not everyone has a God form. What about the higher self? Does everyone have one? No, I think you're confusing God form with something else. God form is a term that is basically, I guess it has been coined by Mathers, I think. Regardless, what a God form means is basically you always assume a God form in ritual, which is you go into a certain state of consciousness where you can reshape your aura or astral body into that god. Okay, let's say Anubis. You want to assume the god form of Anubis. And with that, you gain deep insight into the principle that is represented by Anubis. Okay, it has nothing to do with what you're assuming here, which is probably apotheosis. That's a completely different topic. Okay, we're talking about some form of invocation when we talk about assumption of God forms. Okay, that's something different. You do that for mystical insight, and Gavin here, which I really like, he already connected that to reality manipulation in some way or another, which is also possible. Hey Frank, recently I've been picking up higher frequencies in my ears in the form of ringing. What could this be? Could be Kundalini. Okay, before you freak out, that's nothing to worry about. It's just it just signifies a higher energy flow. That's all. Nothing to worry about. How do you get outside of your head and more into your body? I'm a very mental person. I've had issues feeling my energy, body, and doing energy work. There is no person that is not let me put it like this. Okay, you characterize yourself as a mental person, but look, what is basically a state. Sorry, I gotta check this message here. What's going on here? Okay, whatever. All right. So, look, what people call normal in terms of mental chatter all the time is not. That's just a habit. It's not your natural form. Okay. So, let me explain the structure of the mind. And what I'm giving you here is basically yogic knowledge. Okay, that's something you would learn in a good yoga practice. Your true nature is hiding below all the thoughts. Okay, so when your essence is unfocused, it is trapped in a world of thoughts, so to speak. Okay, the thoughts are real things. Okay, and they have a gravitational pull. So when you exist in a state where you're constantly jumping between different thoughts and emotions that are connected to those thoughts, and back and forth, your essence and your power is trapped in these thought forms all around you, which is basically you're being vampirized by these thought forms. Your power to manifest and your power to control your life depends on your ability to focus and to pick and choose what you focus on. Right? So to essentially to be able to get rid of all thoughts and to pick one and to completely focus on it. When you completely focus on a thought, your mind, your emotions, and eventually your physiology all align. And this is the point where you can actually manifest things. This is the essence. If I could give you if I would have to give you one secret to life, or if they would ask me, Frank, answer the secret to life in your opinion in one word, I would tell you it's focus. Focus. You see? The problem in our culture is that the thinking, meaning that the mental processes, has been overemphasized because it's, at the end of the day, it's just a thought, you see? But a thought needs to be combined with emotional energy. And emotions are just energy in motion, you see? Emotional energy and a physiological shift in order to cause a change in your life, as well as in many other in many other contexts. Okay, I'm sure you've read many self-help books. I'm sure you've watched many motivational videos. I'm sure you have a lot of knowledge, right? A lot. how much of that stuff has actually been applied? Or shouldn't you, based on, if it was all about how much you know, shouldn't your life look different right now? I assume that's the case, and that probably applies to everybody. Information is not a scarce resource anymore. So we all of us here, and then throughout the entire world that is connected to the World Wide Web, there is actually almost an infinite supply of information. Okay, so if it was all about thinking, if it was all about knowing something, the world would look much different. But the reality is that most people know a shitload of things. I mean, if you compare what you know right now compared to people even 50 years ago, you know way more. You know way more than them. You watch 2 YouTube videos, 2 documentaries, you know more than professors, specialists in a certain field 20 years ago. That's how much knowledge is out there. But it's not about the information, man. It is about, can you bring something from the mental into the physical? That's what it is about, you see. And for that, you need focus. You need to combine thought, emotion, and a physiological response. This is the process of manifestation. You see, this is alchemy. Alchemy combines the world of thoughts, emotions, and the physical. That's why you got the circle, the triangle, and the square. You see, that's a symbol in, hold on, I'm actually getting it laser, but this is an alchemical symbol, okay? So let me explain. The state that you're describing is the character of an undisciplined mind, an unfocused mind. Okay, that's nothing good. I know a lot of people praise themselves for being a mental person. I'm not talking about you. Don't take it personal, but it is a misunderstanding. You see, who said it? Was it Shakespeare, or who the fuck said that? No, not Shakespeare. Sorry, cognito ergo sum, which is basically I think, therefore I am. That's ridiculous. You exist whether you have thoughts or you don't have thoughts. You see. Now, to wrap this up, meditation. Meditation is the ability, or it's the practice of centering your energy, okay? Bringing your energy, pulling it back from all these thought forms around you to clutter your mind, okay? And you let go of them. That means you have all this energy and focus available to choose the reality and to choose the thought forms that you're going to entertain from now on, that you're going to put your energy into. And with that, you gain control over your life. Because if you can align mind, your thoughts, your emotions, and your physiological reactions, there's nothing you can't attain. But that's a problem. Most people can't do that. They have different parts within themselves pulling into different directions, you see. So that is manifested as thoughts that jump back and forth into different things. You can't stay focused on anything. Let's say you think about something, but your emotions are remembering something from 10 years ago, you see, and all of your energy is basically dispersed with no effect. Once again, you got a light bulb. Do you see this light bulb? A laser beam, or look, this light bulb can lighten up a room, okay? A laser beam with the same amount of energy can cut through steel. What is the difference between a light bulb and a laser beam? The laser beam has all the photons, electrons, all the electrons on the same frequency. When you have a laser basically works like this. You have a material that has electrons in it, okay? Every atom has electrons, right? So you've got a physical material or a gas. You can use a gas as well. And you put energy into that, and all the electrons are raised up to the same energetic level, okay? So all the electrons of all the atoms are raised up to the same level, and then they fall back all at once to a lower energetic level. And as they do that, all at once, the entire energy that was in those electrons that lifted them up is released, okay, all at once. And that creates a very concentrated form of energy that can cut through steel. But it's the same amount of energy, but it's concentrated. You see, over here, you got many different frequencies of light. Okay, many different frequencies of light. They're all over the place. But with a laser beam, it's the same amount of energy, but focused. So that's the key to manifestation, you see. By the way, if you want to learn meditation, I'm opening up my meditation program again. So let me put the link here in the freaking chat. Okay. The unboundedmind.com. Okay. So if you want to learn meditation specifically focused on witchcraft, you can sign up for that. Okay. I'm not even going to tell you how great it is because I mean it should be obvious, not to toot my own horn, but it's just true. Okay. Everybody who's on that program will tell you it's 10 out of 10 or even more, man. It's freaking it's amazing. And I don't need to sell you that. Okay. If you didn't realize that what I'm teaching is a real deal by now, you probably shouldn't study my stuff, okay? Because that just shows that you can't see gold even if it's right in front of you. And at that point, I don't want to teach you. For real. I don't want it. It's true. Okay. So the unbounded mind is amazing for real. Yeah, thank you. It is. So you're asking me, how do you do that? Well, you learn meditation. You learn how to control your mind. That takes work and practice, but it's doable. Everybody can do it. But without practice, nobody can control their mind. Without practice, impossible. Can you point me to a good book on necromancy? No. Can you evoke the spirits of dead people who you don't know the name of? Yes, you can do that. That's called a blind evocation. So you would have to give them, let's see, you describe it and create a sigil based on that. Or if you got a psychic link, you can use that, definitely. You always need to have a question written on paper when you call a spirit, or can you just call it to exchange energy or to connect to it more? Well, you need some sort of a purpose. I mean, how would you feel if, imagine somebody calls you. Okay. Let's say you're an expert in whatever you're an expert in. Okay, think about what you know a lot about. There's something. Okay, and a toddler probably knows very little about it, right? So how would you feel if somebody disturbs you just to call you up? And he's like, okay, what do you want? What's up? And he says, nothing, I just wanted to call you. Okay, but why did you call me? Well, I just wanted to call you. You see? Now, that is not going to work. You see? You need a purpose for the ritual. You understand? Right. Okay, Frank, you're the man. Yeah, that's some weird talk. Okay. Greetings, Frank White. I'm a fan of you. I followed you before via another channel. This is my new channel now. Welcome. Welcome. Sorry, Frank, for my mistake. I found a teacher who claims to be teaching the internal side of Wing Chun. Not sure what he means by that. I'll focus on Tai Chi. The internal side of Wing Chun. Well, look, I mean, Wing Chun is definitely a fighting style. It's designed for combat in some way or another, right? So, well, Tai Chi too, but Wing Chun is actually kind of like Tai Chi is an ancestor of Wing Chun, you know. So maybe you want to focus on the original stuff, right? So yeah, Frank, is there? Hold on, Frank, is there a certain spirit I should work with to know if someone is being faithful or not? Cody. Cody, are you a man or are you a woman? Because that name is kind of like, I think, to me, it's a little bit sounds a little bit androgynous. But are you a man or are you a woman? Because based on that, I can tell you the answer. Because you're not gonna. I wouldn't use a spear for that. Alexa Markovich, did you ever perform an exorcism on someone? Is that actually legit? Is that a legit thing? Your knowledge on the subject, please. Yes, I performed exorcisms. I performed exorcisms. What do you mean? Is it many or a few times? You know, it's all relative. Compared to most people, I have performed many exorcisms. Compared to somebody who works in the Vatican Order of Exorcists, I probably didn't perform that many. But I have experience. I actually have a short phase in my life where I was working with a Catholic priest that did exorcisms. I was kind of like his right hand man, you would say. You know, I was when I was 24, and I did that for almost a year, almost 12 months with him. And you see some crazy shit doing that, yeah. But I can't talk a lot about this stuff on YouTube. I hope you understand. Okay. Is the stuff that you might see in a horror movie real? Have I seen that firsthand? Yeah, definitely. See, they always say that reality is much crazier than what you would see in a movie and fantasy, and it is for sure. You see, and it's not funny. Okay, it's not funny. Definitely not. But if you want to know more about that, Alexa, maybe, I mean, if you send me an email or private message me, I can help you, or I can maybe let you know more about that information. But I can't just talk about that on YouTube. Okay, there are a lot of things that I can't discuss here. Obviously, right? So find a way to contact me, and we'll see how much I can share with you. How exactly does the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram help develop my astral senses? Well, it helps you practice visualization, directing energy, and feeling energy all at the same time. Plus, if you want to take it a step further, that's how I teach it. The students are supposed to cast a circle to call the archangels and to draw the pentagrams and all that stuff. And then I have them basically close their eyes and become aware of what they're feeling, you know, around them, like their energy, and then move their hands through the circle and the pentagrams and the angels, and they will feel a slight resistance. When you see when the astral circle is cast in the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, it's an actual thing. It's a blue circle. Okay, and when you're looking into the astral, you can see that the pentagrams are there. You know, in the beginning, it looks a little bit milky, looks like milky energy, but you can see the circle. And then when you really open the third eye, it's blue. It's completely blue. And when you then focus on, you know, feeling energy, and you move it through the pentagram and then in the circle, you will feel your hand, the resistance will be felt. All right, so this is how you develop your astral senses, because look, whatever you pay attention to, whatever you use becomes stronger. So a big part of developing your astral senses is really just using them. See, and this is a great way to practice on a daily basis, ideally multiple times a day. Frank, I've just ended a 30-day working with Asmodeus, and I feel like I'm not fulfilled. My friend, no working with a demon's ever going to fulfill you. I'm not saying not to do it, but don't expect fulfillment from that. It's not going to help. I'm getting into necromancy. I need help getting a structure for systems. Also, how can I destroy an enemy? How can you destroy an enemy, bro? There's so many Look, that question is way too generic. See, how can you destroy an enemy? I have videos on that topic. You can probably read that up somewhere. So I'm not going to answer that. Would you say that hypnosis is a form of magic? No. Evening, Frank. How are you? I hope all is well. Wanted to ask your thoughts on sleep paralysis. Had an experience recently for the first time in a while, but with what looked like a white smoke above me. Okay, my thoughts on sleep paralysis. What comes to mind? Well, you shouldn't experience that. It's not, look, it just shows that you're not in control. So you should strive to be in control of your energy and your mind. So banish. You could do a banishing ritual and create and lay out a protective circle around your bed. Maybe that helps. Or even do this before you go to sleep. You could get a bowl of water, put some salt into it. Table salt is perfectly fine. Sea salt is even better. Or this Himalayan salt, pink Himalayan salt, I use that. And then put your energy into the water. Okay, charge it with your intention to protect you. Call upon whatever protectors you have, and push the energy into the water, and then cast a circle around your bed with that. That's going to protect you from undesired entities. Is it possible to use Jupiter in a baneful way? For example, taking the coronavirus sigil and drawing the Jupiter sigil over it. Well, that's not going to do much. I'd love you to do a legit video on sigils. Okay. Hi, Franco Day. Can anything that can heal be used to harm as well? An example would be Reiki. No, Reiki cannot be used to harm. Well, hey, Frank, how do you make a sigil? Well, I'm honestly a little bit too, I don't want to answer that question. I'm a little bit too lazy. So here's where you will learn that. There's a program called Magic Mentor. You'll learn all about that stuff in that program and much, much more. Okay. Grail of the Serpent.com, Magic Mentor info. I'm posting I'm posting the link in the chat. Okay. So all of you, if you're interested, you can check that out. Can you talk about remote viewing? Remote viewing is, look, remote viewing depends on one thing. Entering a state where you don't think, okay? And when your mind is still, you can put your attention on something, and then your inner eye is going to show you what's going on in another place, okay? Goes back to what we were talking about before, focus. Okay. Hello, Frank. Recently, I dreamed that I was being eaten by caterpillars. What does it mean? Okay, guys, I need to make something clear. I'm not a therapist, and I don't give recommendations on any of this stuff. Okay, so if you have psychological problems, if you feel you're out of control or something like that, don't ask me. Okay, I'm not giving recommendations. You're responsible for your own actions, and I'm just talking to adults. I'm talking about what I do. Okay, I'm talking about magic. That's what I do. All right. So if you need help, seek a therapist. I'm not saying that you need help, John Doe, whatever your name is. All I'm saying is that uh, I really don't. I can't tell you what that means. Okay, I don't know. There's no specific meaning. What does that mean to you? That should be my question here. Hi, Frank. I hope you're doing well. What is your thoughts on the holographic universe theory, and how would you best incorporate it within magic? Look, the holographic universe theory, well, basically just talks about a fractal nature of reality, right? So the smallest thing reflects the biggest, okay? Microcosm is macrocosm. As within, so without, as above, so below. That's nothing new. So everything in the occult is based on that. As above, so below. So go back to what I said in the beginning, where you have to change the inner world in order to cause the external change that you wanted. That's how I would see it. Okay? Understand that your external world is always connected to your internal world. And you can't take control over the external world without taking control over the inner world. That is basically how I would interpret it. I live in New York City and I want to learn more than I know. Any kind of advice, because I am by myself and no one I know is into this. John Doe. You live amongst 8 million people. It's so funny, man. It's look. See, your environment shows you a face based on who you are. You see what I mean? So I'm sure there are a lot of people in New York that are into this stuff. Okay, just like there are many people anywhere that are into this stuff. It's just a matter of you finding them. Okay, so reach out to people. Living in New York is not an excuse for not finding people. In fact, you're surrounded by so many different people. 8 million people. You tell me there are no magicians out there. Come on. Probably on the stream. Probably on the stream. Who is from New York? What are the odds? Okay. New York is the biggest city in the United States. Who here is from New York City, or let's say New York State, or New Jersey? Please, please let me know if you're from New York or New Jersey. Nobody? Okay, well, that's usually there are a lot of people. A lot of people from New York follow me. Okay, so should be no problem to find people. But let me tell you what, your problem is not unique. A lot of people have that. Especially, look, when it comes to, let's say, dating, a lot of people that are into magic feel like they're not finding a partner because they can't find people that are into magic. Okay, if you take this shit serious, you usually want a partner that is also into magic, right? And that's why in the future I'm going to create a dating service for occultists, for where people can hook up that are into witchcraft. It's going to be a dating service, another niche dating site, but only focused on people that are serious about magic and witchcraft. Okay, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be from New York as well. See, Dr. Manhattan, I used to live in the Bronx and now live in the suburbs north of the city. Okay. See, one person. I think you guys should hook up, Dr. Manhattan and or John Doe. Okay. What does it mean when I continuously dream about something that connects to future events in real life? How do you recognize communication from demons through your thought process? Bro, I can't explain that here on this live stream in a couple minutes, you see. So get on Magic Mentor, get on the Unbounded Mind. All the questions are answered there in detail. Okay. And if there's anyone, guys, any one of you who's on these programs, specifically the Unbounded Mind, let them know what that program's like. I'm here to help you guys. I'm really here to help you. I'm not trying to sell you shit. Okay. I'm here to help you. And when I offer you, see, one thing that you need to learn in life is when you see gold and when you see that something can answer your questions, and when you see the value in something, you should do anything and everything you can to seize the opportunity to get that stuff. You see, you're not going to get everything on live streams for free. That's not going to happen. How? I don't have the time to go into all the depths and details that I go into when I do the Unbounded Mind. You know, so it's you missing out if you don't take advantage of that. You see, you can't just be on these live streams and expect to learn everything. You see, in fact, look, the universe works like this. If you don't exchange for what it is that you want, you're never going to be able to use it. Let me prove it. Check the hard drive of your computer. How many books do you have there that are free? You know, free PDFs. Have you applied any of that shit? No. Could you make it work? No. Because you didn't exchange for it, you see. This goes back to as within, so without, what I was talking about in the beginning. You see. So you're hurting yourself. You see. You're hurting yourself. And you got to get out of a scarcity mindset if you actually want what it is that you want. You need a scarcity mindset. I mean, you need an abundance mindset in regards to anything and everything that you want. Okay. Because that signals to the universe that you don't have it. And that's what you're going to continue to get. How much is the Unbounded Mind? Is it just like Magic Mentor? No, it's not like Magic Mentor. It's meditation classes once a week, every Sunday. We got a Q&A part. Oh, hold on. It starts with a lecture part, then we do an actual practical meditation, then we got a Q&A part. Once a week, 4 classes a month. All right. Polarity therapy, great literature. What's that? Jeez, like I've never seen that. Thank you, Frank. You're welcome. How much is the Unbounded Mind? And is like, it's $50 a month. What planetary energy is good for love works in your experience for fast results? Venus. I just want to thank you for the knowledge you gave me and you keep giving me. You're welcome. Do you think the government, the world government, is injecting us with alien DNA with the new vaccines? No, I don't think so. Hi, what do you think of psychic seduction? I'm a master at that. I'm very good at psychic seduction. In fact, I got a course for that, Psychic Seduction 2.0. But let me tell you something. That's a good question, man. Because, look, I have many projects that I'm doing, many projects. But one of them, I actually bought the domain today, psychic-seduction.com. Okay, psychic-seduction.com. I bought that domain today. Because what I'm going to create is basically a website where you can learn everything about psychic seduction. One course, not enough. Even the Psychic Seduction 2.0 that I did with Arash Dibazar. Arash is a party bazaar, my good friend, the master pickup artist. That shit sold so many times, and people are still asking about it and stuff like that. So what I'm seeing is that there's a lot of demand for that. So what I'm going to create is an entire site with courses that are focused on sexual kung fu. Basically, how do you generate and harness energy so that you attract it, so that you create an aura that attracts the opposite sex. Okay, how do you, like, there are so many things that I could teach in terms of remote seduction, different rituals that you do. How do you harness your own energy to create an irresistible charge that brings you girls? How do you manifest a girl that you desire out of the ether? How do you sexual techniques? How do you get a woman to squirt through that energy? How do you get a girl to squirt or to orgasm on command? That is possible. You need to use a combination of verbal techniques, meaning a sort of a form of hypnosis, as well as energy techniques. Okay, usually around the sacral chakra. There are certain things that you need to do, different sigils that you have to draw on top of it, and you can do that without her knowing, and then you can make her orgasm on command. You say that one word and boom, she comes. There are so many things that I could show you, but for that we need like an actual space. I don't want to do that on the Grill of the Serpent. So I bought that domain today, psychic-seduction.com. You're going to get subliminals that reprogram your subconscious to become a great psychic seducer. You're going to learn all the techniques that I've learned myself from C-Tree, from Casanova, from so many others, to become the best psychic seducer possible. It's going to be an amazing resource. You're going to get everything: courses, books, audios, all on that page. Site. Some pretty dope stuff, And imagine being with a girl and having that type of confidence, And how is she going to see you? How's that girl going to see you when you become her source of sexual pleasure that nobody else can give you? That nobody else can give her. Think about that. And whenever you want, you can push that button and she just explodes. How would that feel? You see? And this is the power that I'm gonna give you guys. It's a good feeling, trust me. It's a good feeling. I live in New York. You see? Another person from New York here. Just on this, look. Just on this live stream, 3 people on my live stream from your city. So you can't look. That's not an excuse, man. You're just not looking. You're not looking enough. All right. Hey, Frank, you're going to start a dating service, you said? Yes. Yeah. I just came in, but that would be dope. Yes, guys, get on them. I am on both, and they are top notch. I think you're talking about the Magic Mentor and the Unbounded Mind. The Unbounded Mind and Magic Mentor are massively underpriced. Join it now. Truly amazing. Thank you. All of Frank's programs are too underpriced for the value you get. It's a no-brainer. Thank you. Okay, thanks. Thank you. Well, what I was saying, yeah, that dating service for magicians and witches and all that. Yeah, I don't know when I got the time for that, but that's definitely one of my projects. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Do you like ice hockey? What sports do you like? No, I don't like ice hockey. No, hey, to each your own. Ice hockey. No. I think I tried ice skating at the age of 10 once, but I didn't like it. It's not my it's just not my sport. I'm a martial artist. That's what I like. I don't even like basketball and soccer and all this other stuff. I mean, here in Europe, soccer is the biggest sport. Obviously, that's like number one. Um, but I like fighting. I was a fighter. I like martial arts. I like anything connected to fighting. I like boxing. I would even watch judo. You know, judo championships. If they were on TV, I would watch that too. Yeah, my sport is fighting. Always has been. Is misting Florida water around the bed and dabbing on the third eye or behind neck and setting intent of protection during sleep or any other occasion as powerful as burning sage? Yeah, I would say so. It's probably even better. Astro Priestess says thank you. That's Nicole, right? Thank you. What's up, Nicole? I gotta message you later. We gotta make an appointment for that thing. Okay. Frank, would you consider the Magic Mastery your premium program as opposed to the Magic Mentor? No, I wouldn't consider that. That's an old program. It's very old. By the way, that domain idea sounds badass. I'm down for that. Yeah, I bet you are. Any guy would love that. Come on. Shout out to New York, but we down here in Florida. Okay. Do you like ice hockey? Okay, I answered that. Do you have a background in software development? Do I have a background? No, I have a background in biology. Do you have ever called? But you did. I don't need to know that shit. You know. Have you ever called a spirit to teach you some martial arts moves? Yeah. Bro, that dating app is a good idea because no one has made such a thing yet that I've seen. Keep those guys posted. Frank, do you believe top athletes in the UFC are using possession with spirits versus in combat to gain the upper hand? Oh, I'll tell you something. I actually just recently facilitated a pact with a professional fighter. I'm not going to mention his name because I'm not sure if he wants to be mentioned here. Okay, but he's a professional fighter. He's sponsored by what's his name, man? Anderson Silva. Anyone who knows a little bit about the UFC is familiar with the name Anderson Silva, right? So the guy that I'm working with is sponsored by Anderson Silva, and he's a professional fighter, and we have a tight working relationship. Yeah. So yeah, I know for a fact that fighters do that. Okay. I've been kicking the idea of psionic magic app using devices built in sensor subconscious programming through lock screen repetition, etc. Infernal blessings, Frank. Okay. Well, if you ever need help with your site or any other tech projected ID, love to see what we could come up with. Okay, thanks for the offer. Okay. Let's see. I think I'm going to go 5 more minutes. John Doe, the Bronx. Okay, I think most questions have been answered. Like I said, you want to be on the Unbounded Mind. You want to be on Magic Mentor. Both of these programs. And everything else that I put out, you want to get that for sure. Okay, trust me. Trust me. If you don't know by now, you probably will never get it. But that's fine. I'm fine either way. Can you talk about the difference between goetic possession and Voodoo possession? Yeah, totally different. The Voodoo and stuff like that, those are religions. Okay, but the approach to the spirit is completely different. You're not gonna threaten or coerce a spirit in that tradition. Thank you so much for the Unbounded Mind program. You're welcome. Thanks again, as always, Frank. You're welcome. Okay, I hope you got something out of this, guys. And peace.